Hi everyone. Today we will be discussing about what is the differences between the private companies and a public company. So in this sense, our private company we are talking about is the company that is operating in the private sector. So in private sector, normally the owners of the private sector company, for example sole proprietor or a partnership, is normally owned by the private individual like us. They invested their capital, their bank, their savings inside the businesses in order for the business to grow. A bigger private company can be known as the private limited company also, or potentially a public limited company. For example, they issue their shares to the public. All these things, they have a common characteristic, is their objective is actually to maximize the profit to their owners. Or potentially a profit sacrificing business is also possible. But normally they are concerned about their own, about the survival of the businesses. On top of that, a private sector company normally is operating in a more turbulent environment, in a more competitive environment. In this sense, we are meaning that they have to compete with other players in the market for the market share. The market share means this. In this case, we mean the customer. They have to compete for the same pool of the customer in the market. That's why they need to constantly improve themselves and improving in the operating processes, in a faster decision making, in the responding to the changes, so they're able to continually to grow within the industry. So the more market share they get is actually the larger player in the market. So the largest market player, for example in the technological industry, we can know that as Apple, because it gets most of the user of the smartphone is using in Apple for last time I think maybe. So on the other hand, for a public sector company, they are normally is owned by the local government or potentially the national government. Their purpose of this case is to provide a good and services to the general public. For example, the electricity, water, public transportation, all these are the services provided by the public. So provided to the public, a particular characteristic of a public company is that they do not charge a very high price, a low price, potentially they do not earn a profit at all, just to deliver the services. Because the money that they derive from the activity is not the primary source of the revenue. As the primary source of the revenue is actually from the taxpayer. When the tax paid to the government and the government want to release this money back to the citizen is through this use of their fund. They set up a private company, for example, water supply company in Malaysia, for example, is Shabas. So they want to deliver the goods and services to the public. Another thing about public services is, public sector is their services actually is quite not so emphasizing on the efficiency, because their decision making often is quite slow. Their public sector manager have to consult with different political constituencies in order to make the final decisions, and this normally involve a lot of the consultancy processes with the higher authority and also the stakeholder, because it's involving the public. That's why it normally takes a very long time to make a particular decision and slowing. These are what we call the red tape or the bureaucracy. Another distinguishing factor between them was their remuneration paid to the manager, which means the manager of the companies in a public company and a private company. They are both different. In a private company, they're emphasizing on their performance, therefore their remuneration paid to them is linked to their performance. The more they perform, the higher the sales, the remuneration will get out. For example, in terms of bonus or any share options or company shares. Whereas in the public sector manager do not receive such claim, such a privilege, because they actually receive a fixed salary and a less proportion of performance. They could not afford to take risk because what they are spending actually the public taxpayer fund, in which they receive from the government. Therefore, they have an obligation to maximizing and utilizing the fund in the most economical way to the public citizen. That's why this is the major two differences between them. So however, a word of caution, you have to distinguish between a public sector company with those non-governmental organization or another type what we call the quasi-autonomous NGO. The NGO in this case, they are not governmental organizations, they are private, but they do not have the same objective as the private organizations because their objective is not about maximizing the profit. Their objective is about delivering the goods and services to the public, in which both the private and private company do not serve them, so do not serve to the public. A quasi-autonomous is involving the interventions from the government in terms of the fund, however still retaining the autonomy in making their decisions in how they are delivering the good to the services to the public. However, in terms of the fund, they still receive from the government. And the government want to be seen to be free from the intervention, that's why they are funding them, but not seen as a governmental organization. That's why we call this the quasi-autonomous non-governmental organizations. So these are the differences that I know. So I hope this helped you all to understand our differences between the private company and also the public sector company. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.